Okay, I want to do a quick mini lesson here on mean, median, mode, and range. Alright, first I want to talk about what they mean. First, we're going to look at mean. Mean is another way of averaging. In order to find the average, you add up all the numbers that you're doing, and then you divide it by its quantity. So if I'm adding 6 numbers, I add up the 6 numbers and I divide it by 6 then. Median is the middle number. It's very important here. There's two things that are really important. First, you must reorder your data right away so that it's from least to greatest, so you can see which one is in the middle. Second, if you have an even amount in your number set, well then what you want to do is take the two middle numbers and average them together. The mode means the most. Which number occurs the most in there? And finally, the range is the difference of the highest number and the lowest number. So you take the greatest number and you subtract the least number to get your range. As you can see, we have Mr. Chase Utley off to the right, and as if you're a Phillies fan, you know he's had quite the career and maybe will go down as a top 5 Philly of all time. But I want to look closer at some of his stats and we can answer some questions based off of that. Okay? So, I'm going to first pull up his page here on Baseball Reference. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down here, make this a little bit bigger. We're actually going to look at his home runs. Alright, so remember what I said first, and you can see the home runs ranging here from 2003 all the way up to 2014. Hopefully that number will get bigger in 2015 than 2014. So what I said first is you want to rearrange the data so that's from least to greatest. Now on Baseball Reference you have this beautiful little feature that I'm just going to click on home runs, and I'm going to click on it again, and now I have it from least to greatest. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so that I can still see it, but I'm going to write out the data below. So let me get white here. So we're going to have 2, 11, 11, 11, 13, 16, 18, 22, 28, 31, 32, and 33. Now that I have it written out, what I really like to do first is count the number of years that we're dealing with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so we have 12 pieces of data that we'll be working with. Okay, now I'm going to solve for the mean or the average. So what's really nice is Baseball Reference has this great feature right here. You can see it says 228, right? That would be the total amount of home runs he's hit in his career. So I'm going to use that, 228. And I'm going to divide that by my 12 years, my amount of data in the set. When I do that, 12 into 22, 1 time. Times 9 times 12 is 108. So my mean or average is just going to be 19 home runs. Now there are a couple things we want to keep an eye on. First of all, he hit 2 home runs the 1 year. Now if we were able to scroll over, we would see that he didn't have that many at bats in that year, but it's still part of the data, so we'll use it even though it's technically an outlier. Some of the other ones are easy, such as the mode or the most. Okay, so the mode is the one that appears the most, and we can see that 11 appears 3 times where no other number appears more than once, except for, let's see, nope, that's a mistake right there. That should actually be a 33. Okay, that was my fault. Alright, so the mode is just going to be 11. Now when we're dealing with the median, we have an even number. So what we want to figure out is we want to figure out what are my two middle numbers. So again, we have 12. So the middle numbers, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now there's 5 here, 7, and then there's 5 down here. So it's the middle number between 16 and 18. Alright, so there's 5 right here and 5 down here. So between those, and that's easy to figure out in this case because 16 and 18, the number in the middle of 16 and 18 is 17. So if we were to add 16 and 18 together, and then we'd get 34 and divide that by 2, we'd get the mode of 17. And the last one is range. Range is you take the highest number, which is 33, minus the lowest number, which is 2, which would then be 31. If you don't use the outlier, which some people would argue to not use the outlier in this case, you would take 33 minus 11 to give you 22. Okay, because that first 2 down here, that was his rookie season, so he only got a couple at bats. So maybe that's not a fair assessment there. So if you don't want to use the outlier there, then you could say 33 minus 11 is 22.